So my name is Jill Fraser. I am a case manager, occupational therapist at Mayo Rehabilitation. And every month we run a webinar on a special interest to do with personal injury, catastrophic injury and trauma. They can vary. We have guest speakers. We have neuropsychologists. We'll have medical people with medical background. We have last month we had a music therapist, so we have a huge variety of people. But today is really special because we have Sam, who is one of our clients. And there are two reasons for this. One is because it's a good thing to share. Sam's journey is an excellent thing to share for people in this, working in this and experiencing this sort of injury, but also it's sort of part of Sam's rehab. So this is a goal of Sam's. Sam wants to share what's happened to him and he wants to give something back. So this is a perfect opportunity for him. And I'd just like to say off from the offset, thank you all for coming and supporting us with this. The process of this is going to be me asking Sam some set questions that we have come up with. Sam, who is on your big screen, hopefully, is supported by his wonderful rehab assistant next to him, which is Shani. And they've been working together for quite a long time now, and you'll see what an amazing team they are. Although Sam will hate me to say that, I know.
Just how I got Sam and Shani got wonderful Shani. Like, that was a bit upsetting.
Wonderful Sam. Wonderful Sam.
Super Sam. Super Sam.
So Sam is happy for people to ask questions. So once he's answered the questions I put to him, if you have any questions, please do. He wants to do this. He wants to share his journey. He wants to tell you how this has affected him. So I'm going to start with just telling you what happened right at the very beginning. Sam had a traumatic brain injury in November 2020. He suffered with a severe brain injury. He was in a coma. He had other injuries, including fractured spine, bilateral pneumothorax, shattered spleen, seizures, and many other fractures as well. And he was in Addenbrooke's Hospital, and he was discharged back to his mum and dad's house. And I'm not going to tell you any more than that because this is Sam's story, but I just wanted to give you that background. I met Sam when did I meet you, Sam? November. Yeah, about November time, so quite early on. And we set him up with, eventually set him up with Shani to help him with his rehab. But Sam, over to you. I'm going to ask you your first question. How would you describe your life prior to the collision?
My life was very, very active, very wild. I loved to socialise, party. You know, there's a typical young lad, really. Well, I say young, not really young, but yeah, I enjoyed life how it was, and just enjoyed every day. And I was never a moody type or anything like that. I just enjoyed life, and I was very sporty. You know, I found a girl which I actually finally liked. So I was kind of settling down with her at a time. So yeah, everything was going really well. And we was thinking about moving away to Spain, and yeah, life was good. Life was very good and very active.
Okay. And you said to me you were pretty much like the life and soul. You liked yourself, didn't you?
Oh, I love myself. I was borderline arrogant to myself. Okay. I believed everything I'd done was right.
So Sam, what happened to you?
Obviously what Jill said, I was on my bicycle from work, and I was probably on the safest part of my journey, thinking, "Oh, I'm basically home right, like I'm basically home." And this idiot, he was on drugs and speeding around this corner, head-on collision with me, and unfortunately, my life turned around completely after that. And yeah, it was scary. Not for me, for my family at the time. I was I was actually, yeah, I had my earbuds in, what they call. I was on my phone to my mum and dad as it happened. It was scary.
Okay. And were you aware of what sort of injuries you sustained?
No, not at all. This might sound really like really think what an idiot, but all I thought about was my back because of golf. Because I'm a massive fan of golf, so that was all I thought about at the time.
Okay. So your initial thoughts or concerns following the collision were obviously about your back and how you were going to play golf. Tell us about what other thoughts you had after your collision.
It was I didn't really know until, like, I didn't know nothing at all in the hospital because it was COVID times as well, so I couldn't see family, friends, or anything like that. I think my wife had she was only allowed like an hour of a day or anything. I can't remember what it was, but so I didn't really know what was going on. So I just thought in my head, I thought, oh, I just want my back to be better. I was in pain in my back and my shoulder, and I didn't think nothing else was really wrong until probably one day I was getting a checkup, and there was like I would say about 8 doctors or what they were, specialists, just standing over me. I was like, oh wow, what have I got this much attention for? And that was scary. But until I only really noticed what was wrong with me until I got to hospital.
Mm.
And that's when it hit me hard.
Okay.
I got my brain injury and all that stuff. I understood more, and it was scary.
I guess when you're in the hospital, you're in a room or a ward. It's very contained.
Yeah, it's a really blind thing to be in. Like the hospital was like quite blinding for me because you're surrounded by other people who are not very good at it either. But I was like, there was a guy who was with me, and he was in a bad place, but I was doing better. So I thought, I'm doing all right here. I'm doing well. Like I'm gonna be out of hospital soon. But as soon as I got out, it was like it kind of made me feel like I need to go back. It was not good.
Well, you needed to go back to hospital, did you say?
Yeah, that was like, it got to a time where that was my comfort. You know, I was good there because I was doing nothing, and I got home, and that was just life. Life was just, it took me as a surprise, really. I didn't know I had all these problems. I knew, obviously, I had brain injuries and that, but I didn't know what came with it. And until I got home, which was crazy, really.
And what was your mindset like at that time?
When I got home,
yeah,
I was very lost, very confused, very, very, I was scared. I was generally scared, so I didn't realise how bad it was. And I thought, oh my god, this is bad. Like I was scared.
okay.
I thought my life, I don't want to sound like my life was over, but I thought my life's different now. Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think it changed?
Reality. Just reality of it, like as in I was in a secure place in a hospital with no problems, no things to think about until I got home. There's other issues there's noise, there's distraction, there's everything, there's like the memory, all that stuff, and I didn't realise until I got home about it all, and I was like, wow, this is a different ball game. But yeah, it did change. I was feeling positive in hospital until I got home because I didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know the consequence of the brain injury and all that stuff.
Okay. And that's, as the more you did or didn't do, the more you understood that something was different.
Yeah, the only thing I would say, like, I had to do something to find out it was not good for me or anything like that. So you have to be, you know, without preaching to anyone, like, you as a brain injury, you have to do them things to find out what you can do or can't do. And because I was like in my bedroom for God knows how long, I didn't find out the stuff I could do. And when I did do them later in time, it was a massive shock for me. And I was like, whoa, this is a different game. This is different. Like, it's not just about my back anymore.
No, I think a lot of people actually do focus on their physical issues at that time because they're in a secure place like a hospital or being looked after by parents or spouse or whoever. And it's not until they start trying to live the life they had that they go, actually, this isn't working like it did.
Yeah, because that took me a while to walk. So I was like, took me, I think from hospital, it took me a few days because I was like, as soon as I took my first step, I was like, yes, I can walk. I'm good. That's the only thing what plays in your mind at the time.
We'll come back to this in a minute, but what's life like for you now?
I would say life like now, it's took me a long time to get to this point, is steady. I know that might sound really boring, but compared to what I was, it's a massive improvement. So I've adapted to my brain injury. I have to adapt. I've learned so much about my brain injury, and I've just adjusted to my life now. Like I know I can't go out into a pub anymore without, I can't drink obviously a lot, but I have to, like, socially, I have to be sensible behind people around me and all that stuff. So yeah, it's just adapting to your life now. It's like, it's no point. I think it took me a while, but I kept fighting it. I kept thinking to myself, I can be better. I can back to myself. I can do that. But it wasn't the case. I had to just adapt to my new life.
Yeah.
Quick question for you, Sam, on that is, when you were adapting, was that, do you think, did you find that more of a negative thing or a positive thing in your sort of viewpoint of it all?
At first, I thought it was negative. I thought it was really negative at first. I felt like I was giving up. But then I learned it was actually a positive thing, because I was going forward instead of like just staying still. So yeah, at first I thought it was really negative, but it's really positive now. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing from now on. Now it's just whatever I struggle with now, I've got to adapt to it. I've got to adjust to it.
Did you ever think you would be where you are today after the collision?
No, not a million years. I didn't think I'd play golf again. I didn't think I'd be married. God help her. I didn't. There's a lot of things I never thought I'd be doing.
How do you deal with the ups and downs that come with the recovery?
Now I expect it. Before, I was, I guess it really got to me because I thought I was failing at my recovery, my rehab, my recovery, all that stuff. But now I just expect, this could be a bad week. I could have a bad week this week. Not expect it as in like, oh, you never know. But if it happens, I'm like, okay, right, let's recover. Let's cover for a few days and I'll get back on track. That's one thing I've really learned probably the last few months, is like, you're gonna get bad weeks. You're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have days. I have weeks where I don't even want to see my wife. Well, actually, that's probably all the time, actually. But yeah, there's just stages, and it's kind of gets to the point where you go, right, okay, it's one of those weeks. Okay, let's do the best I can to get back on track. But I used to beat myself up about it, but not anymore.
No,
I've got another question for you, Sam. Sorry to interrupt you. I was going to say, you when you feel like you're having a bad time, or even when you're having a good time, do you feel comfortable like asking your MDT, your therapist at the time, to say, look, can we adjust? Are you happy, you know, asking for adjustments or doing it on your terms? Because I imagine a lot of people in your position would be quite happy to just, you know, might even just do as they're told or think, oh, well, that's, I've got to do that. But you're quite comfortable doing that?
I probably wasn't at first, but now I'm not afraid to even message Jill, whoever, to say, look, I need a break. I need a break. And you have to be strong. You have to be, because without sounding horrible to the therapist and all that stuff, they don't know, do they? They don't know what you're feeling at the time. And you just have to say, like, when it's enough's enough, like, give me a break. Let me recover. Like like when I have my good weeks, I'll try to do everything in my power to do everything, which is stupid because I can't, because the following week I'll be knackered again and I'll be dead. But yeah, I'm not afraid to tell my therapist or my anyone really to say, look, I've had enough. Let me leave it alone. My family understands now. My wife, I hope she understands. No, she does understand. It's something it's something they need to accept as well.
Next question. These are all pre-planned questions. So would you say this was a lot different to what you thought it would be? Because I know when I first met you, as with many of my clients, I have to, you know, my job is to explain what the process looks like and what can be done. And I know it's a difficult thing to imagine because you've never been in this position before. So would you say it was what you expected?
No, definitely not. I didn't think it was going to be this hard. I didn't think it was going to come with this many difficulties in my life and all that stuff. I thought, like any other injury, you thought, oh, 2 years, I'll be back, you know. But yeah, like I remember when I first met you, Joe, and you was telling me about like general brain injury and that, and I'm thinking, well, I can beat that. You know, I'm Sam Ellis, so I can do what I want. But yeah, now I fully respect anyone with a brain injury, like, and that's why I'm doing this. So, you know, anyone wants to chat about it, like, I'm here. But yeah, that is one of the hardest thing. Well, it is the hardest thing I've ever done, and I'm still doing.
What surprised you the most about going through rehab?
It's like a job. It's like a job. It's a 9 to, well, it's not 9 to 5, but 9 to 5 job a week, and you know, your wife or your partner comes home and you think, oh God, I'll deal with that now. And it feels like it's a good job though. I don't want to make it negative, but it's well, like, if I didn't have rehab, that's, you know, I'm scared what I'll be like, but it feels like a job.
I remember us talking about it right at the beginning, and me saying it, you might need to look at it like this because it's going to be the priority in your life.
Yeah.
To view it like that and not as a part-time add-on to everything else, because it takes such a huge amount of effort from you.
Yeah, you got to treat it like that. I think that is probably the only one of the advice. You got to treat it like it's your income, basically. You've got to treat it like that.
Yeah. We had a question just now. What was that question? What are your job aspirations now? I think somebody's asked.
Oh, I would say just to give back.
To get back to doing something.
Like this should make me feel on top of the world. Like doing this, even whatever way it goes, I've tried, and yeah, I don't have high expectations ever going back to, like, obviously big work, but I want to give back.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of people in my life who've done so much for me, so it's time to give back now.
A good start.
Thank you.
How would you describe the effect this has had on your family and loved ones?
Massive. I didn't realise how big it was until Dr. Paul helped me. Like, we had a meeting, like family meeting and that, and I didn't realise when Paul says it to me, it kind of goes, oh yeah, I expect it for me. But as an outsider, like my family and that, I think that was scary. And probably best advice I give to anyone with a brain injury: get your loved ones educated, because they will understand more. And they, like, my wife didn't really understand at first, like the time I need alone, all that stuff. But now that's in her head now. She knows. So some days she'll come home now and go, "Oh, you need a break, don't you?" So she'll leave me to it. And that is probably the most. You get so much weight off your shoulders when they understand that, because it does matter. It doesn't. You didn't realize. I didn't realize how much of an impact it did have on my family and my friends, all that stuff. But yeah, it's massive. That'd be my only advice: education.
Yeah, that's good. It's good advice. What have you learned about yourself throughout this? Probably lots.
There's a few. I'm still naturally beautiful. That's one thing. Now, I think the top one for me, how strong-minded I am still, or was, yeah. Yeah, and how much I want to still enjoy life as I can. I've learned loads about my body. Oh my God, yeah. You understand your body 10 times more than you ever have. Not saying that's a good thing, go get a brain injury. I'm saying that's what you do.
I was going to ask Sam, was there any things that you learned that because of all of this that you're quite happy to keep? Things that you developed, or skills or attitudes since the start. In a positive way.
Good question.
Throwing him off course there. It's not on the
Sorry.
list. We'll go back to the list, Sam.
I'll go back to that.
We'll go back to it. What would you compare this experience to, if anything?
Anything I can really experience it with is, there's not a lot, but there's only one I could probably really think of, is first day of school.
Oh wow.
Because you're lost, confused. You don't know these people. You haven't got the minerals to go to these people and go, "Oh, be friends," or anything like that. You're a very confused young man or boy. But yeah, that'd be anything I can compare myself to. Like lessons, you obviously a bit lost in lessons, and I get lost in my reading, all that stuff. So it's probably the only thing I can really compare it to.
Okay. Just had a question come in. How do you pick yourself up on a down day?
Great question. One of the answers, there's probably two answers to that. One is because I have a wife, and that'd be just, I don't want her to be miserable. So, you kind of have to pick yourself up. And two, I can't be in that. Like I've been in very down spaces and very horrible thoughts, and I don't ever want that again. So I always think about them days, and I go, "Right, come on, just pick yourself up. Let's do something you like, that you enjoy." So it might be watching golf. It might be just something you like, and like I got a hobby that I love is golf, and I'm fortunate I can play that, whenever I want really, and that is my escape from the brain injury, and I use that for my benefit. So if I ever feel it down or anything like that, I will go to the golf course, hit some balls. Sometimes it does make me angry because of the way I hit it, but yeah, that's my escape. That's me. That's like a little hobby for me, what I love and I can do. So yeah, I would say, find a hobby, find something you love, and it will cheer you up. But it doesn't take too much out of you, and just find it and do it.
Good advice. Another question that's come in. This is throwing you off course here, Sam, but you did agree.
I love it. Go on, far away.
It's disappeared. Cara, where's that gone?
That's right, I can read it out. It says, what activity do you find the most challenging now, and how are you working with this?
My one would be processing and reading. and like anything mental, I really struggle. And the way I adapt to it, I guess, is I do little bits and bobs. So if like after this meeting, I will go and rest. Then when I have that brain break, that's what I call it, I will come back and go back to the alley. But you have to manage it. Really do. That's what I've learned. You manage you can do and what you can't do. So when me and Shane do some reading tasks, we do like some for like maybe for 10 minutes maybe, and then we'll have a little break and we'll go for a little walk. So I switch off from that, then I come back and we might do some more, or we might just call it a day. And then yeah, you just got to manage it really well. How about you? That you only can manage it once you keep doing it. You have to learn. You're going to make loads of mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes, and the only way you learn from it is to make mistakes first. So yeah, you will learn from it massively.
And just this isn't on our list, so sorry about this, Sam. But do you ever forget that you can't just do what is automatic to you? You know, like get up in the morning and think, oh, it's a lovely day, I'm going off to have 18 holes of golf, and then you remember that tomorrow you've got, you know, several important medical appointments and you need to be awake. So do you ever forget about it, that you've got to rest and you just go for it?
All the time. And that's what I mean. You will make mistakes. I do it all the time. I think there was 1 week I played golf nearly every day. And the week after, I think I cancelled Shani a few times. I couldn't. That's my own fault. Well, I'll say I'll never do it again, but we don't know. But yeah, you do make the mistakes. You do. You think you can. You think of that. Like I think the worst thing is for me. Say someone's been a bit positive for me, saying, "Oh, you're doing really well," all that stuff. In your head, you go, "Oh, I'm back on track. You know, I can do this, I can do that now." And then you get a bit carried away, and you realise, "Oh, I can't do that. You can't live that." How I look at it, I can't look at that normal life. I have to be smart. I have to manage it better.
Yeah.
But yeah, you will make mistakes. Unless it's just me. But mistakes are there.
Thank you. As someone who we've got another 4 questions, and then it's open to anyone else. As someone who lives with a brain injury, is there anything that you are surprised at that is no longer available to you?
I would say just the basics, like the reading ability, the speech. I know my speech probably seems all right now, but once I'm tired, wow, that goes. Like the simple things you probably don't think about, like me having a conversation with someone and how much that makes me tired now.
Yeah.
I think that's the surprising thing what comes with it. I can't believe it. Like I can go play golf, come back and don't think that bad, but I have a half an hour conversation with Jill and I'm dead. I just don't want to see anyone anymore. But yeah, it's crazy. That's the craziest thing I think from it.
And I guess I just put it in there. Sleep is also not available to you, is it?
I'm getting used to it now. Yeah, sleep is. I forgot about sleep. Yeah, sleep is enough. I'll be happy with 4 hours in a minute. So, but yeah, sleep is. But again, you will not live with it because I'm not giving up on it. But you'll learn to adapt to it and keep going with it. You have to. If not, you will be in a bad place. I think, like I was at one point, and you have to snap out of it in a way and just crack on whatever you got.
And we keep learning, don't we?
Oh, learn all the time.
What would you say to yourself if you could go back to the beginning of your journey?
Oh, educate myself with it all. That education, like with brain injury, because I was obviously worried about my back and all that stuff. I had no education about the brain injury, which I probably would forget anyway. But that's very key. And probably number one would be don't be afraid to make mistakes. Probably go out there, learn about yourself.
Good.
You got to do it, but you got to do it before you actually know what's wrong with it. So, I didn't realize I was didn't like noise until I went outside, and I was like, oh, I don't like noise. But maybe I could have dealt with that sooner rather than later. So yeah.
Another question that's come in: how has your you're going to love this one, Sam? How has your rehab assistant sitting right next to you helped you?
Oh God. I'll be lost about her.
Oh.
Don't. I'll be lost about her. She's been amazing. Oh my God, I like doing this.
Keep going.
But yeah, I would be. Yeah, I'll be very lost. I'll be very confused still. And yeah, she's a massive help. Massive help.
When I think this is a good time to jump in, because when I first met Sam didn't leave the house other than he had a route that he called his safety walk, which is about, do we reckon, 500 meters around the block?
Yeah, about that.
And Sam would do that maybe once a day, if that. And over the last 12, 14 months, all credit to you though, Sam. Sam now went to the hairdressers by himself for the first time last week, which meant he had to cross a couple of roads by himself, obviously go in there by himself and all of that. He will cancel because he's got things on, doesn't have time to see me. Mr. I don't leave the house now has a social life. So yeah, he's come a long way in this last 12 months, which is a massive credit to him and the hard work that he puts in.
The one thing I would say about a rehab assistant, if you get one like I have, that's very annoying, God help you.
Thank you. Okay. What would you like to say to anyone in a similar position who may not be feeling too positive about their future?
Live to now. I have learned. I'm probably the biggest hypocrite by saying this, but it took me 2 years to stop running on the future. I have to live to now. Like I've been worried about, so I will love a family. I know I need support with that. I know I haven't got my house, my dream house I would love. I haven't got like work, job, anyway. It takes a long time to realise you have to just live to now, and you really do. If not, you will be just putting yourself in a little hole again. So you just got. My biggest advice would be just live to that moment, live to the next day, even if it's rehab next day. Just look forward to it, because Maya is so good. Maya, sorry if I got that wrong. Maya,
whatever you want to call it. I'm going to open this up to other people now, because we've gone through our list, and you have explained all of that so brilliantly.
Thank you.
I say so myself. I'd like who would like to ask Sam some questions? He's happy to answer any questions you may have.
One came through that asked, how has your injury affected your social group?
Yeah, it's affected it quite a bit, but I'm getting better at it. So, like I said at the start, I'm a very sociable person. I'm not a shy person either. And when this happened, I was very anxiety. It was very bad, very something I'm not used to either. But I'm starting to get better. I can handle groups now. Admittedly, I did have a spell where I thought I was doing really well, but it was the alcohol, which was stupid. My mistake, like a mistake. You can't learn from your mistakes, but without the alcohol, I'm getting so much better. So much better. I think I'm not afraid to walk away now from a group and just have a little break in the toilet or in the corner. I won't be afraid just to walk away for a little while.
Which is what you had to do at your wedding, isn't it?
Yeah, we I got married, didn't I?
Married?
I got married, yes. I had a surprise reception. No, it wasn't even a bit.
No.
Yeah. And I asked for a little section in the corner so I can just escape. And yeah, that's the things you have to do now.
Yeah.
Which you might think at the start, oh, it's out of the way and it's really annoying, but it's for your own benefit. unfortunately got to be a bit selfish, which I'm pretty good at.
There's a question from Courtney. Can you see
I
it?
actually just wanted to say thank you, Sam, because it's really incredible, especially the start of your journey, hearing from a hospital perspective, and even just as health professionals, what we need to do better, explaining from the start and taking time to help you understand whether that's written or not. Like, despite COVID, I think it's really important what you were saying about you only really knew about the physical components and no one really explained it, so it was much more of a shock. But I just think it's so beautiful that you were able to share that with us today, and I hope that, like, if that's something you want to do, you can share it with other people, because it's a real eye-opener, and it's really important for us to hear stories from you.
Oh, thank you. That's probably the first time I felt a bit of emotion for myself.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Means a lot.
Thanks, Courtney.
No problem.
Someone has asked, have you been able to get back on your bicycle?
No, unfortunately not. I'm still a bit funny when it comes to roads and walking, and because I get so distracted very easily, and I've got a bit of a trust issue myself at the minute. So, and I don't know if my wife will let me. But it's not something I would. It's not something I've thought about, if I'm honest, that much. But hopefully one day, when I have children, I would love to. I want to be on a bike with my child. So I'm going to have to one day.
Thank you, Sam. Any more questions? This is a good opportunity to get Sam's view on any. I know a lot of you are working with different people and or know someone who's been through a brain injury. So this is a really good opportunity to ask the questions if you want to.
Don't be afraid. I'll answer to anything. So, Mark.
Hi, Sam. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, hello. How are you?
How you doing? Yeah, I'm fine, thank you, mate. You?
Yeah.
Just a quick question. I know one of the things that has really helped you, and it might be useful to sort of put it out there, is the getting back into golf, isn't it? It's how much has that helped you psychologically and physically as well?
It's massive. I think personally, it saved my life. Obviously, including my wife. Yeah. But I would say, like, because golf brought everything. It just brought this. Like, I had to start socialising. I had to start. I got out in the open again. That was lovely. It just brought everything everything I was struggling with. It kind of went into one, but something I enjoy the most. So. Yeah, I would say it was a massive impact on my life. It saved my life, I would say. So if anyone with a brain injury has got still a hobby or something they love to do, don't ever let them give up. That's such a key thing to have. Like, even if it's like something, I don't know something stupid, I can't think of anything. Buying clothes, maybe. I don't know. I don't know, something like that. Just honestly, you need it. You need that hobby. You need that purpose still in life, and golf gave me that purpose still. So yeah, it was huge.
Excellent.
Personal training, you've done that before, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. Another thing, guys. Sorry to butt. The one thing I've struggled with is my fitness. I was a very fit young lad, and because I have these down weeks, and now I just eat. I eat a lot of rubbish, chocolate. Love chocolate. And I met a personal trainer, and that has changed my life really, because I was getting an unhealthy lad, the way to put it, like nutrition. I was eating the wrong foods, and that was massive. That was huge for me. I wish I had that sooner. I was a bit stupid. I didn't think about that. I just abused my body, and I still some weekends I still abuse my body, but I'm getting better at it. So personal trainer or anything like that is a massive help, because you can easily fall through a trap where you just sit there and be down and eat rubbish. So that'd be another little thing.
Good advice. Great advice. I think that's it, unless anyone's got anything else they want to say to Sam.
There was another question that came through. It says, has your relationship changed with your family, and how have you and they dealt with this?
Yes, they're much nicer to me now. Yeah, a bit weird, a bit strange, really. But yeah, no, they are a bit caring more. They, you know, normally I can go weeks without speaking to my parents, but they do check in. The hardest one was probably my wife. We had some hard. Well, she had adapted my injury as well. So, but that you have to talk to each other. You really do. Like once they understand. That's what I mean by the education, about the education for them for the brain injury. They'll understand it, because no one outside understands the brain injury. The only people who understand is your team, your loved ones. They're the only people who understand. Honestly, that's the only people who understand that. I have friends now where I go, they look at me and go, "Oh, you look really good. You must feel better." I wish, that's not the case. But the only people who understand is your loved ones and your doctors, therapy, whatever you got, and they're the other ones. So educate them, make them learn, tell them your struggles. Don't hide your struggles. Tell them your struggles, and they will adapt with you. So yeah.
I think we'll finish on that, Sam. That was just such fantastic advice and a great insight for other people to get a bit of a picture about what you've been through, and just a little bit of the adaptations you've had to make, the adjustments you've had to make. It's admirable. It really is. It's just amazing to see how far you've come, and you know that, I tell you that, but it's have come a long way.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, still got lots of things to work on. Comfortable. Gotta keep going.
I'll keep going. Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing it. We're going to be doing it again, aren't we?
It's up to you guys if you're wanting to listen to my voice again, but it's up to you. If this helps, I would happily do it anytime if it helps.
Yes, good. Okay, thank you, everybody. If you've got questions afterwards or any comments, please send them in, and I can share them with Sam and Shani. And if you want to know any more, please let us know. But thank you so much for attending, and hope to see you all again soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam, Shani, and Jill.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Fun. It's good, wasn't it? Your microphone's on.
Back now. No, it was very good. He was just brilliant.
Yeah, wasn't he? He's so good. I know. Yeah, that was great. I hope people enjoyed that.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting and a really good opportunity. Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Stop